Welcome back to another pregame analysis, but let me just tell you, this is no regular pregame analysis. This is one for one of the biggest games of the season. Let's go ahead and get started. What's up, guys? Welcome back to El Merengue Culé. Tomorrow, Real Madrid will be facing up against Italian giants Inter Milan in probably one of the biggest games of the season, a game that could define whether we stay or leave the Champions League. The fact that we have come to this point is pretty bizarre to begin with, but it is what it is. We're here, and Real Madrid is going to have to step up to the challenge. I believe that the winner of this two-game series, because yes, we do play against this team back-to-back, is going to basically go through to the next round of the Champions League, while the loser, in the grand scheme, yes, there may be a tie here and there, but the overall loser of this two-game series will be sent home to either the Europa League or straight up home with nothing. So, guys, it's a huge game nonetheless. Let's go ahead and start analyzing this Inter Milan side, who we know is a very, very physical side that likes to play with 5 defenders in the back, one of which will be one of our ex-Real Madrid players, one that most of us probably wish he was in the team right now. We sold him this summer, and that is Ashraf Hakimi, who has been killing it at right back ever since we loaned him out to Dortmund, and then he moved to Inter. So yes, we're going to be finally facing up against him, a player that personally I wish he returns to the club at one point in his life. Like I said, he's a wonderful player. In the midfield, this adds on to their physicality because they have players like Vidal and Raja Nainggolan, 2 players that just love to go into tackles hard, very much like Casemiro. So it's definitely going to be a huge battle in the midfield of strength. But we do have the added sides of having players like Luka Modric, Toni Kroos that have a little bit more skill than Inter's players, in my opinion. But their attack is going to be transitioned by Christian Eriksen, once again a fantastic center attacking midfielder who will be finding one of their biggest attackers, which is Lautaro Martinez. Now, you may be wondering, what about their other huge attacker? And yes, that is Romelu Lukaku. Guys, he is not going to be present against Real Madrid. He has recently picked up an injury, and honestly, this is a huge blow for Inter Milan. Why? This man scored 34 goals for them last season, and just in this Champions League for this season, he has all of Inter Milan's goals, 2 goals, but nonetheless, he has been their only goal scorer. So obviously this goes without saying that this is a huge blow for Inter Milan, and but probably added benefit for Real Madrid, who will probably struggle a little bit less. However, nonetheless, this team still has a plethora of attacking capabilities that could still put Real Madrid in danger situations at any moment of the game. Okay, now let's take a look at Inter Milan's season overall. How are they doing in the Champions League? Well, they have tied both of their 2 first opener games. The first one against Mönchengladbach 2-2, which is where Lukaku scored both of those goals. And then the other one against Shakhtar, in which they tied 0-0 last week. And honestly, in my opinion, I believe Inter Milan was the better of the 2 teams in both of those games. They just struggled to put away their chances. However, they did dominate the majority of the game. So these 2 results are kind of deceiving in that sense. Inter Milan, guys, if you haven't seen my predictions for the group stage, you guys can go ahead and take a look where I would have placed this Inter Milan side. However, I do think they've gone a little bit unlucky. And meanwhile, in the Serie A, they're having a bit of an inconsistent season. They started off good with a few wins here and there, but then they've recently tied against Lazio, gone and lost to AC Milan, one of obviously their city rivals, 2-1, which is a pretty big loss. And this last weekend, they tied against Parma 2-2, a game that they had goals in the last minute. So, like I said, even though they have so much talent in their squad, they do seem to be a little bit inconsistent. They haven't found fully their way of playing style, which kind of contrasts with Real Madrid, who that's been going through a similar period where they have moments of really good results, and then out of nowhere we get hit with a loss out of nowhere and just really bad gameplay, and then out of nowhere we play good again. So we have 2 teams that are coming up against each other that have both faced quite a bit of inconsistencies this season. So it's going to be interesting to see who the team to have a better performance is. And with that being said, I want to talk about Inter Milan's player to watch. And most of you are probably going to think I'm going to say Lautaro Martinez. However, that is not going to be it for me. This time, I'm going to go for Arturo Vidal. And yes, some of you may be like, I don't know, he's already pretty old. And yes, while he's already pretty old, he's already scored against Real Madrid with 2 different teams in the Champions League, scoring with Juventus and Bayern Munich. So he's definitely a player that likes to score on us, and no player in the Champions League history before has scored goals against a single team with 3 different teams. So let's just hope we don't give Arturo Vidal this record that he's definitely going to be seeking out against us. As for Real Madrid, we are playing this game at home at the Estadio Di Stefano. However, home seems to not have been that comforting for us lately, where we have been basically getting the worst of our results, which we got our first loss, our first defeat in La Liga, 1-0 against Cadiz, and then also our defeat in the Champions League against Shakhtar. So, like I said, just because we're at home doesn't mean that it's going to be an easier game for us. However, we've played against Inter Milan 7 times in our history in the Champions League, and have beat them at home 6 of those 7. So, history tends to favor Real Madrid when they play at home against Inter Milan. However, as you know, these are just facts, and they don't actually reflect by any means what could happen in this actual game. Continuing on with these random statistics, Real Madrid is actually currently going through one of their worst streaks in the Champions League, in which they have not won a game in the past 4 matches. That's right, because we lost both against Manchester City, we tied against Mönchengladbach, lost against Shakhtar. So that's 4 games that we have not won, and this has not happened since 2006, where we had a similar run. So we definitely have to break this streak. No tying, no losing, we have to win. Luckily for us though, we have Lucas Vasquez, who is returning to the team. This weekend he was actually subbed off, and at the moment it appeared like Zidane was just subbing him out to get him some rest. But then there were later rumors or reports that Lucas Vasquez was actually subbed out because he picked up a bit of a knock this weekend. However, it seems to not have been the worst of things, and he is back in the squad. So thank God for that, because we still don't have Carvajal or Odriozola. And to add on to the bad news is Militao, the only other defender that probably could have filled Lucas Vasquez's spot at right back, actually tested positive for COVID. So obviously they're still running more tests on him, but he's definitely not. He was not called up for this matchup, so we don't have Eder Militao. However, other good news is that Martin Odegaard is actually back in training. However, he was also not called up for this match, so we're not going to be seeing him this week. However, this weekend I do expect to see Odegaard back, and you guys know how much I love him. Okay, but without further ado, it's time to get onto those predicted lineups for Real Madrid, as well as the predicted score. So let's see. In goal, without a doubt, we're going to be seeing Thibaut Courtois having an amazing season, probably one of the best players for us so far this season. Right back spot is going to have to go to Lucas Vasquez, who's actually playing out of his skin lately at that position. Center back duo, we already know it's going to be Varane and Sergio Ramos. We have no other center backs at our disposal. And then on the left back, it's going to have to be Ferland Mendy, where, like I said, we're facing against a very fast, physical team, and only Ferland Mendy can keep up with those kind of players, because Marcelo, stay at home, bro. Anyways, in the midfield, I'm going to go with a 4-3-3. I was a little iffy. I kind of want to go with 4 midfielders, and I wouldn't be entirely surprised if Zidane does so, but I'm going to be going for the 4-3-3. So Casemiro at the center defensive mid, alongside Fede Valverde and Toni Kroos. I think that is our strongest midfield as of right now. Luka Modric can come in the last 20 minutes to try to give us an extra breather. He played the whole game this weekend, so I definitely don't think he's going to be starting. And then up top, I think Zidane's going to opt for that same front 3 that he used this weekend, which is going to be Marco Asensio on the right, Eden Hazard, and Karim Benzema up top. They seem to have worked really well together, especially I hope Hazard continues with this great start that he's had ever since coming back from injury. He could be for sure the difference maker and the player that Real Madrid was missing so far at the start of the season. So let's hope for that. And now, guys, we have reached the infamous final part of the video, which is where we do the score prediction. And as always, I want to remind you guys that you can leave your score prediction down below for a chance to get a shout out and a potential jersey at the end of the season if you finish top of the leaderboards in terms of how many predictions you got right. So I do believe in my Real Madrid. I do believe that we are going to come out with the victory, and I do believe we're going to win 2-0 with an Eden Hazard goal and a let's go Karim Benzema. Our striker and our left wing are going to bag themselves some goals, and we're going to take home all 3 points and get ourselves one big step towards advancing to the next round of the Champions League. Okay, guys, as always, it was great talking to y'all. I will be seeing y'all tomorrow. We're probably going to be doing a live reaction video since this is such a big game. I do have, as you can see, I'm at school right now, and I do have a test tomorrow. So we're going to see if time allows for it. However, I'll definitely be seeing you guys tomorrow. As always, have a wonderful day, and a la Madrid.